Hi everybody, thanks for joining me once again. If it's your first time, thank you for joining me the first time. I want to talk today a little bit about the government and how they plan on bailing out people that have variable rate loans and how they plan on stopping this wave of foreclosures that's happening throughout the country. If you have a variable rate loan and you have good credit, or if you have marginal credit and you can afford adjustments, then you should be incensed. You should really be upset about the government's new plan on how they're going to temporarily, I might add, and I emphasize the word temporarily, stop this wave of foreclosures, because all they're doing is putting a Band-Aid on a wound again, just so it doesn't look so bad right now. But what the government's plans are is if you've missed payments and foreclosures have already started against you, you're screwed. You're pretty much, unless you can salvage something or get money, you're going to lose your house. If you have an income where you can afford the next adjustment cycle, the next adjustment rate, and you can afford, and they deem that you can afford to pay back the loan, you're going to get a higher interest rate. If it's shown that you've been current with your teaser rates, what's going to happen, and it's shown that you cannot afford the adjustment cycle, and if they do adjust your rate, that you're going to be in a financial burden, well, they're going to try to not adjust your teaser rate for 5 years. So basically what the government is doing is penalizing the people that are able to afford a house and rewarding the people who should not have bought a house in the first place. I mean, the only reason the people bought the house with the teaser rates, not all people, but one of the reasons a lot of people bought houses with the teaser rates is because they were able to afford the loan with the teaser rate. Now, the teaser rate may have been 4%, 5%, 5.5%, maybe even 6%, which may have been lower than a fixed rate. Well, to me this is pretty unfair. Why are you rewarding people that should have never bought a house in the first place and trying to keep them in something that they can't afford? It's not going to get better for these people, it's going to get worse. Ultimately, I believe everybody's tax dollars are going to help bail these people out. As a taxpayer, why should I help somebody who couldn't afford to be in the house? Why don't we take this and apply it to cars? Why not help people that can't afford the car payment that they bought? How about credit cards? How about people who overextend themselves on credit cards? Well, why not help those people also? It's just an unfair process that the government is trying to impose upon us and the lenders. And I believe the lenders, unfortunately, the lenders have gotten rid of the loans, so they're not left holding the bag, but they should be fined. There should be some kind of monetary imposition on them where they're fined to some extent. Well, they're going to claim that they're losing money, and why should they be fined and penalized more? Well, the reason being is because they gave loans that they shouldn't have given. It's a whole domino effect that affects a lot of people. It's not isolated to one lender or to one customer or to one mortgage broker. There was a whole house of lies to get all these loans pushed through. And sometimes they knew about it and sometimes they didn't know about it. But if you're a company like Countrywide, which is probably one of the two largest lenders, you pretty much knew what was going on. For the most part, Countrywide services their own loans. Wells Fargo services their own loans. They don't really sell them. They might sell some, but they keep most of them. And if they didn't know what was going on, then they're in the wrong business. How could you consistently give stated income loans with no down payments and expect not to get burnt at some point in time? And yes, they did expect to get burnt a percentage, and I'm sure that's factored into their loans and the rates and their profit margins. But you know what? There comes a time when you have to say enough is enough and blame the lenders or blame the people that loan the money. If people are going to lose their homes, so be it. They shouldn't have been there to begin with. But anyway, I think everybody should be calling their congressman or writing their congressman or woman and letting them know how they feel, that why should they help people that couldn't afford to be in the homes. And it is a big mess, and it's going to economically affect neighborhoods. But what can we do about that? You can't just bail everybody out because there's a problem. You have to look at the problem head on and somehow resolve it. And what the government plans on doing is just putting a temporary restraining order on it, if you will. And so what's going to happen in 3 years or 5 years when these people have to get readjusted on the mortgage rates? The rates are going to be much higher, in my opinion, in 5 years from now than they are today. So what's going to happen to these people? Are they going to sell their house? No, they can't right now. They're going to end up having to sell it maybe in 2 or 3 years from now, and I think that's the government's plan. Let these people sit in the house that they can't afford, give them a temporary break on their loans, and let's hope and pray that they sell it to somebody else that can afford it. And I truly believe that's the government's thinking on this. And I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to know what you think, and if this plan that the government has bothers you at all. I know it bothers me, and I think we should all be a little upset about this. So I'll talk to everybody soon, and you all have a great day.